back for our Water Services Delivery Plan Foundation document. So update I'm going to hand straight to Olivia. Or am I going to you, Mike? Sorry.
So, councillors, last time we briefed you on the plan, we were in PX because the other councils hadn't yet had the opportunity to see the plan. They have now had that, so this is an open session. And we did say last time that we'd have a secondary briefing to enable you to ask any follow-up questions. So I've got Dougal and Olivia here to respond. We do have one question, but any other questions we will attempt to deal with as best we can. So over to Dougal.
Are you taking them going through as well? Or do you want them at the end? What do you want to do?
So we're not intending to present today.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity to double back now that you've seen the full WSDP that arrived a couple of days after the briefing. So hopefully you've had a chance to read the WSDP. We've had one pre-question from Councillor Duncan that we're happy to kick off with, if that helps.
Absolutely.
And then we're basically in your hands in terms of how you want to roll.
Okay.
Do you want me to read your question or...? It was quite long.
Yeah. All that worried me as I read through the draft there was how the importance of a computer system to the new entity was addressed. It didn't seem to me to take any precedence when I would have thought that kind of information is critical to actually being able to do what you want to do. That's basically the question. So is the computer system of a low priority, or are you looking at a new system to start from?
If I can speak to that. So completely agree, the computer systems to enable the new organisation are a critical part of the establishment, and they'll take up around about 80% of the establishment costs, we estimate as well. Now fortunately, councils have determined through Greater Wellington to fund IT system upgrades through Wellington Water. So you may be aware that Wellington Water has got an RFP in the market. It was released on Friday, slightly ahead of schedule, and that's seeking the full complement of IT components that will be required for the new organisation. So we will have a better understanding of the costs and the timing and the implementation risks once we have the RFP response over the next couple of months. And including being really clear on what the scheduling and sequencing of those will be. So critical ones, obviously, a good financial system and an asset management system, but also people, billing systems as well. So we're working through that. We're working really closely with Wellington Water, and what we're developing between Metro Water and Wellington Water and councils is one integrated plan for our IT system. So one of the things that we know is likely is that we are unlikely to have a billing system in place for day one next year. That the risks of having that billing system up and running with an integrated customer component, so recognising all the customers, is very, very high risk to have in place by that time. So we've been working really closely with Ian and the other CFOs to agree what could be the interim billing solution, leveraging off council systems. So there's an integrated program, the needs of Metro Water over time, what support will require from councils for interim solutions, and then what's our kind of end state program of IT requirements, which is being led currently by Wellington Water through that what's called the TSI program and the RFP that's in the market at the moment.
You got a follow-up, Mike?
Yeah, just a follow-up, because I'm reading through it, there's about 6 or 7 different computer programs that you're using at the moment, and very few of them actually talk to each other. So those are the sort of things that we're looking at in your... Yeah, great, thanks.
Questions, people? Jeff?
I want to reiterate something that I raised in the closed workshops, because I want to bring it forward to the public area. And that was that in reviewing the documentation, the water charter principles that were passed by this council rather, and have been similarly endorsed by other shareholding councils, seems to have been incorporated into the foundation documents, except for one component, and that was with regards to the living wage. I know that I raised this last time, and you guys were going to take that feedback on board. Having had a week, have you guys got any additional commentary on that at this stage around that issue, which was again explicitly stated in the motion that was supported by this council.
So yes, thank you. That feedback has been taken on board, and we're working through that feedback and other feedback from councils to integrate that into the draft foundation documents, and those will be coming back via your council officer reports to you on the 21st.
21st of August, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Ross.
On that note, I must react to that, Jeff. I don't believe that we should be saying to the new organisation that they should implement a living wage in the things that they do. I believe that is a decision they can make for themselves, and they will make it in the future, I guess. But that aside, I've just got a couple of questions. One question was, I fully support all the work that's been done here, the amazing work that's been done here to deliver this plan and to deliver the foundation documents. I think it's been a spectacular tranche of work that has come to fruition now. A couple of things that were in the document that I saw is talked about an establishment director. Who is that? Oh, that's you. So it is you. Sorry, I wasn't. It just wasn't clear to me. Yeah, well done then. And commiserations. Yeah, I had a couple of things. So I'll start with a comment. Why do we say, and I know we have no control over this, it's going forward, but why do we say in the document, the metro model will allow for major or high-cost infrastructure, which is unaffordable for councillors or for councils under the current structure, when the same people are going to be paying for it anyway under the new regime. And you talk, there's the costs for us in Porirua more than double as a percentage of household income in terms of those affordability guidelines. I guess, there's nothing that we can do about it, but I just wonder whether we should make more of the fact, and I'm sure it's hidden from many of our ratepayers, that costs are going to rise significantly under this model, albeit maybe 30% less than they would have under the current regime.
So this is a theme that's come up at other elected member briefings of the councils as well, that we have tried to balance a program which is more affordable than what costs otherwise would be under the status quo model, and particularly as you say, the charges envisaged under this new model would be around a third less than what it would be under the status quo due to the additional borrowing capacity and efficiency gains of Metro Water. But do really want to acknowledge that affordable is relative, and we are looking at higher costs, which are going to be very challenging for our community. So it will need to be a really ongoing focus for Metro Water, working closely with the council partners and working closely with the Commerce Commission to ensure that there's that fairness, transparency, value for money, and as far as possible, affordable. But I think it's probably a word that we need to stop using so much. I think one of our council briefings, they described it as we need to reframe as this is the work that is required and we are intending to do it at the least cost rather than positioning as being affordable.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I mean, this is work that is required, and we want to do it as efficiently as possible, so that getting rid of affordability is a good idea. Can I ask another question? It was just putting in metering. I couldn't see in the calculations what assumptions were made for water savings under the metering scenario. Are there savings, water savings that go into the model, and what are they? Just out of interest.
So I couldn't tell you what the assumed savings are from meters. From my recollection, in Kapiti, it was around 20-25% of water
Yeah.
was reduced through the introduction of meters. I mean, meters obviously have that tool of kind of helping people to understand consumption and choose to use less, and therefore save money. But also fundamentally, they really help find and address leaks. And we're losing around 40% of water to leaks. So a big component will be not really the reduction in consumption so much, although that could be around 25%, but also helping to address that 40% of leaks in the system. But it is part of that broader strategy of the keep, reduce, add, that you'll be aware of keeping the water in the pipes, reducing demand, and then adding more capacity over time as well through things like the Pakuratahi lakes.
Oh, no, I understand what's behind it. I just wonder because it is critical in terms of delaying the investment in new infrastructure. That amount of saving, it does relate back to consumption, even though you're finding more leaks, etc., which relates to consumption.
We know Kapiti had a 40%.
No, they did
decrease.
not. It wasn't 40%. I'm sorry, it was like 20 or something like that. Yeah, which is and around the country that is true. But I just wanted to know what our assumption was and what went into the model. That was all. It doesn't matter because it's all done now anyway.
Well, I think it's a really valid point in that we've worked with the assumption that the investment in the plan is required. But as you say, if metering comes in and reduces demand, if through the renewals program we reduce the leaks, then perhaps the timing and the need for additional storage may be reduced. Now, that's also linked to consenting requirements and the need to reduce the amount of water we take from the awa. So there's a number of interlinked parts, but if this is the key part of how do we reduce the overall investment that's required and think about the most cost-effective solutions as a constant focus.
Right. Can I ask one more question? Mm-hmm. Not directly. So the transition to the new organisation, what impact is that going to have on staff requirements for Porirua City Council? And because that'll be related to things like, handling growth and those sorts of related issues, financials, billing, etc. Seems like a lot of work is going to have to go into that. And I just wonder what impact that will have on our staff requirements.
It's various. In the lead up to going live with the water entity, we do have a lot of work inside the council. I'm looking at Ian because there's quite a lot of the financial issues, the billing, etc., which will require IT, finance, etc., where we have made some provision for that, but it will fall largely on existing staff or contractors that, like Datascape, who provide our IT system to do that, which will no doubt come at a cost. But we have made some provision in our annual plan for that, as you'll recall. Longer term, we will have some stranded overheads that also cause us some issues that we'll have to work through that post 1 July 26. So there's kind of issues both ways. Ian, you look like you're poised to contribute.
Well, nice summary, Wendy. Just to add, we're looking at many of the additional costs that need to be borne through the transition period, i.e. billing, is a prime example that we're working through at the moment. We're trying to estimate, okay, if we are responsible for the billing function for a year or 2 years or however long it takes, what would it actually look like for our team? Now, we're assuming that those costs will be borne by the new entity, but we need to estimate those costs. So some of those work streams are very active, and we haven't landed on definitive numbers yet, but it is likely if we retain some functions and we have to, introduce parallel billing functions, if you like, to the billing function that we already have, then that will require additional resource. But the expectation is that Porirua City Council is not paying for that additional, function.
My only comment there is no, we might not be, but ratepayers will.
Yep. But it's a part of the basic service offerings that any company would need to provide.
No, I understand the issues around
Yeah.
transition, and we're just going to have to swallow some of those. And we need some clarity going forward at some stage. That's all.
Through
Mike?
the chair. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Through the
Yep.
chair, just remember that we've got the amended long-term plan for water. And so between now and Christmas, essentially we'll be doing a lot of that modelling as we go into that next step. So that's where this will all come out.
Mike?
Yeah, look, mine's around Greater Wellington there, and the compromised position they're in as the consenting authority, but being part of the structure itself. How are you going to ring fence how they actually fine the rest of the councils for infringements?
So this is an issue that Greater Wellington's quite focused on as well, and obviously they have this conundrum at the moment, as do other councils. You're a landowner and have other active roles and also a consenting authority. So it is an issue that Greater Wellington has at the moment, but they have stated that over time their intent is, once they're confident that there is a suitable steward of the assets that they are the current steward for, they may exit the partnership. So we're expecting that over time Greater Wellington will look at exiting from Metro Water, but they just want to have that confidence that Metro Water is set up and is a safe steward for the regional assets that they look after on your behalf for now, and then they are likely to exit, but the time and terms for that is yet to be determined.
Looking around the room, anyone else? No? Gone. No? Okay, thank you very much for the update. Mike?
Next step, councillors, 21st of August, we'll be coming to you, we're asking for a formal resolution around approval of the plan, which will have been certified by Winnie beforehand. See you then.
Hey, that was the only thing on our workshop today, if I am correct. We will go to our closing karakia.